Hey folks, so this video should be short and sweet. I just want to talk about why 1-to-1 risk reward ratio is the best risk reward ratio for most. Notice I didn't say all, but most traders. The vast majority I would be willing to bet. Like a lot of folks that are not currently trading 1-to-1 in that range and are struggling psychologically would do better if they were to make that switch. And this is the real reason why 1-to-1 is best. All right. And you know what a lot of people say is like people point out the obvious whenever I say you can make money with a 1-to-1, you can get rich with a 1-to-1, and I'm proof of it. I'm proof that you can make a lot of money with a 1-to-1 risk reward. But then they say, okay, but you got to win more than, you know, win more than you lose. Yeah, of course you do, right? That's part of it. But guess what? What folks don't seem to realize is it is so much easier to do that with a 1-to-1. Like they're thinking in the mind frame of like, because they're usually shooting for, the people that say this are usually shooting for big ones like 3-to-1, 4-to-1, and up, right? They're shooting for like these massive risk rewards. So they're looking at that lens of view because they're wrong all the time. And then like they say, oh God, that seems impossible. Folks, whenever you shoot for low-hanging objectives like that, your win rate goes up. If you have a good understanding of price, okay, you know what the fuck you're doing. 60% win rate, 6 out of 10. You can get filthy rich with that. Filthy fucking rich with that. Let that sink in because it's true. It's true. Most of my career has been with 1-to-1s. I've had some, what's the word I'm looking for? Some outsider trades or some trades that are a bit bigger than 1-to-1, but the vast majority of my trades in my career are 1-to-1 in that range. Okay, and I do just fine for myself. I'm proof that you can get rich with a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio. All right. So that's when I see folks say you can't do it. I know they just have no real experience. They're just regurgitating what their guru said, who has no results to back up anything they say. That's just a pretty little chart, right? I'm telling you, psychologically, it's going to do a lot for you because you're going to have losing streaks, drawdowns. Like there's no way around that. I'm not like selling that you're not going to have losses. That's a part of trading. You got to accept that. Okay. But the amount of losses, the drawdowns that you experience aren't going to be to the degree like if you have like a big risk reward, like 3-to-1, 4-to-1. And what happens to a lot of people is psychologically is a lot more difficult to deal with bigger risk rewards because it comes with more losses. But like beginners, newbies, they don't seem to realize that. They don't realize that going in because the FUBU sells that they can have a huge win rate with it, right? That's like that's not how it works, folks. Sorry to break it to you. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news. Part of the deal with big risk reward is that you can afford to take a lot of losses and come out on top. And maybe that fits some people. And some people, they go in thinking that's going to fit them, but then they realize it actually doesn't fit them, right? And when they're in there and they're taking it, it's a different ball game when you're in there, right? So what's going to fit a lot of people is because the drawdowns, the losing streaks are not to the same degree as that. And also, of course, you're just going to have a higher win rate. You're going to experience fewer losses. When you experience fewer losses, you still got to be good at taking losses, etc. You're just going to do better. Psychologically, you're going to be in a better place. With those 1-to-1s, those low-hanging objectives, you're in, you're out, and then boom, you're done. Just like that. Just like that. I'm telling you, a lot of you that are watching this right now, if you were to kind of pivot to the 1-to-1 in that range, because I've been teaching for a long time, I know like I gravitate to 1-to-1 and sometimes over 1-to-1. Sometimes I'll have 2-to-1 plays as well. Most of my students over the years, the vast majority gravitate and do best psychologically in that 1-to-1 to the 2-to-1 range. I get a lot of people that like 2-to-1 as well and do good with 2-to-1. You can have a fairly decent win rate with a 2-to-1 as well. Clearly not as much as like a 1-to-1, not to that degree, but you can still, I know a lot of people gravitate to that as well. But then you start getting over that, it's a little bit more psychologically it'd be a little bit more difficult. Okay. And I can make money with a big risk reward. I'm not saying you can't, to make that clear. I could go in and make money with a big risk reward, like 3-to-1, 4-to-1, 5-to-1, and I could do it on a consistent basis. But you know why? Like it's like swimming upstream. Why? You see what I mean? Like it's just easier. It's just easier psychologically. It's just so much easier to do 1-to-1. But you know the industry lied to a lot of people. All the gurus want to sell that. You know, you could need that big risk reward to grow your account, your small account. I started with $2,000 in 2014, and I was a millionaire by 2021. Now, that may seem like a long time to a lot of people. It's really not, but today, like I didn't even have access back then. I didn't even have access to all the prop firms that you guys got now, to the outside capital that you got now. There's so much more opportunity now than, you know, whenever I was into it. You know, none of that was even around. It wasn't even a thing. It wasn't even a thing back then. So I did that with a personal account in that time. Do I think it's possible for you to pull it off quicker? Absolutely. But I'm not saying that you are. I'm just saying like the potential is there, if you see what I mean. Take your low-hanging objectives and just wait for payout, get paid. And then just funnel that money into your personal account, keep racking up accounts, and that's how it's done, folks. That's how it's done. All right. So that about wraps up this video. I just wanted to make that clear why one-to-one is best for most people. If you did enjoy, leave a like, subscribe. Don't forget to turn on notifications, and I will see you later.